Okay.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the Emmaus Borough Council meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. For the record, Councilman Balliet will not be here this evening. Personal appeals part one, we have no one in our audience. Is there anyone in our virtual audience that would like to make a personal appeal? Shane will unmute you. If you have a personal appeal, please state your name and where you're from, and you have 5 minutes. Hearing none. We'll let Shane remute him. Community minute. Does anyone have anything to bring forward for community minute? It's a month to our next meeting. So does anybody have anything that's coming up in the next month? Our community yard sale, I think, is on there.
I believe we have Memorial Day parade.
Memorial Day parade.
Memorial Day parade.
Yep. Councilman Baum.
The pool will be
Councilwoman.
opening May 29th.
What is it?
May 29th. Can you hear?
If you can't hear yourself up there, they can't hear you in the thing.
The community pool will open Memorial Day weekend, May 29th.
All right. And season tickets are being sold. Anything else that's coming up in the next month that you want to
Did you
mention?
say the yard sale at June 5th?
June 5th, yard sale with a rain date of June 6th, this Sunday.
Correct. Thank
Cool.
you.
All right. There's no special presentations tonight. Reading the minutes, we have 2 sets of minutes. We have our special meeting minutes from April 28th. That was weird. I didn't. Motion to approve the April 28th meeting minutes. Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Any corrections or discussion on that? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes. We have the regular council meeting minutes from May 3rd, 2021. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve those? Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilwoman McManaman. Discussion or corrections? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes. There are no decisions on bids. Communications, we had 3, and all of them involve closing roads. April Madonna requests for road closure on Elm Street between Willow and First Streets for a block party on, I have to get the date here,
June 26th.
June 26th. And it has a rain date of June 27th, Sunday. We're going to send that one to the mayor to take care of. And then we have our second request to close Klein's Lane between Top Star Entrance and Minor Street by curb appeal detail. This one we will not send to the mayor because this is our daughter's business, and we'll do this by council. So would somebody like to make a motion to approve the request to close those streets on June 27th? Sunday,
12:30 to 5.
12:30 to 5.
Move to
Somebody
approve.
like to make that motion?
Move to approve.
Motion by Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilman Anders. Any discussion? So it's going to be closed from Main Street up to
It'll actually start at the last entrance to Mobile, so it's not going to interfere with Mobile's business.
okay,
So it'll be from the southern entrance of Mobile south to Minor Street.
okay. All right.
The only question, Shane, is the only question I have is if there's soccer up there, have we notified them just so they can go?
I haven't notified anyone yet,
If it is
but we
approved.
will, yes.
Okay, that's all.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes.
We'll also notify emergency services.
Thank you.
And our third request is from a Thomas Ferrante block party on East George Street. And that one is for June 19th. And that's from 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And that one will refer to the mayor to handle. Does anyone else have a letter to bring forward an email communication? All right, hearing none. There's no borough engineers report, so solicitors report.
Mr. President, I just want everyone to be aware that the Ninth Circuit decision has been appealed to the Supreme Court. They have not taken it yet. It's under advisement. This is the main decision that deals with right-of-ways, and what we can charge and how we can go about it dealing with the 5G. I can proceed. I have a draft agreement back from Verizon, finally, I might add. But the question is, should we slow walk it, or do you want me to aggressively pursue it with the risk that the law may be different next summer?
So I'll tell you what I've advised, and that is, let's not be in a hurry, because they seem to not want to agree to any language that has provisions in it that if a Supreme Court or another court changes the outcome, that they're willing to amend it. And so for me, I'm not in a hurry to enter an agreement because they have the right to do it anyway.
do have a
I'm
right.
accurate. Correct.
They could file a building permit and they get it.
Okay,
But it's a very difficult decision for me. I would do what you say. I tend to agree with Shane's analysis. He and I have talked about it. I was very concerned when I saw the appeal. And I think that the Supreme Court has a high percentage chance of granting it. There's quite a few municipalities are involved in fighting the FCC decision, which was then approved by the Ninth Circuit. So I can rewrite it. I can put things in it to strengthen it. But there's really only about 5 major things. Number one are the costs. In other words, when can we raise our charges? Number two is, what do we have to charge them, if anything, for the right of way? Because right under the FCC, we can't charge them anything. They just get to use it. And then the third thing deals with aesthetics. So those are the big issues.
Councilman Dufresne?
So then, if we signed it beforehand, they'd essentially be grandfathered in.
Yes,
even if-
sir.
Okay, that's what I figured. Okay.
All right, does anyone have thoughts on this? Do they want them to move forward, slow walk it? What are your thoughts? Anyone? Don't care?
Thanks for your input.
I personally,
Slow walk.
I mean, if you have a court decision coming, that's going to set precedent. So I'd rather wait for that, personally.
Yeah, the Supremes may not take it. I can't tell you that. I mean, it's just an application.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all I have, progress.
Thank you. Unfinished business part 1, new business, unfinished business part 2. We have nothing. Does anyone have anything to bring forward that is not on our agenda? Hearing none, Madam Mayor's report.
Thank you. On your iPads this evening is a proclamation. Proclamation 2021-511 for Memorial Day. Whereas Memorial Day originated as Decoration Day on May 30th, 1868, and whereas Memorial Day is now a day set aside for paying tribute to our country's honored dead who have served faithfully to defend our country in both wartime and peacetime. And whereas Memorial Day is recognized around the world as a day for decorating the grave sites of American veterans with flowers and American flags. And whereas on May 31st, 2021, has been proclaimed Memorial Day by the United States government. Now therefore, I, Leanne Gilbert, Mayor of the Borough of Emmaus, Pennsylvania, ask that all residents and friends of Emmaus join me in proudly displaying our country's flag and praying for peace forever throughout the world. On the 17th day of May, 2021, in the Borough of Emmaus, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania. And also, I would like to take this time to thank Chief Palmer for his service and dedication to the residents of the borough. It was an honor for me to work with Chuck. He has been a true professional throughout his whole career, and I wish him well on his upcoming retirement. He will now become known as the Chief of the Honey-Do List. So, thanks, Chuck. Good luck. Progress.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And we appreciate his service for stepping up when we needed somebody, and he did a great job. So greatly appreciate it and hope he enjoys his retirement. Moving on to committee reports, we have Public Works Committee, Chairman Anders.
Yes, nothing for official action this evening. We did meet on May 12th at 4 PM. You can see the notes that we have in there, the mini minutes, and I'll report progress.
Thank you. Health, Sanitation, and Codes Committee Chairman Bally, in lieu of his absence, would Councilman Hart or Councilwoman McManaman like to make a report?
I'll be happy to do that, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. The one action item we have for this evening is the Chestnut Ridge Sewage Module and Utility Plan, which is included in your packet. It has been engineer approved, and therefore I'd offer it for your approval.
Would you like to place that in the form of a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Chestnut Ridge.
Motion to approve Resolution 24. Would somebody like to second that? Councilwoman McManaman? Any discussion on this? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes.
Nothing else for action. The next meeting is May 26, 2020 at 4:45 PM on Zoom. I report progress.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation Committee Chairwoman Baumgardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have nothing for official action. I did want to point out that May 29th will be opening day for the swimming pool, but it's also the evening that we will have an outdoor movie night. So that's coming up as well at Community Park. And our next meeting will be June 8th at 4:45 PM. I just want to make sure it's June 8th. I thought it was the first. Okay.
Yeah, the 31st is Monday.
But we meet on Tuesday, so it should be June 1st.
Yeah,
Okay. All
That's
right.
that's why I said that.
Okay, June 1st, 2021 at 4:45 PM via Zoom. Progress.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee Chairman Hart.
Thank you, Mr. President. We've been busy in our committee doing a lot of interviews, one of which is going to require your action this evening. We received from the Civil Service Commission one candidate to be considered for patrol officer position in the borough. We interviewed a Mr. Braden Allen Sachs. Braden comes to us from the Correctional Institute business area. He's a lieutenant at the State Correctional Institute at Phoenix. Those of us that are a little bit older would remember it as the Graterford Prison. He has taken his Montgomery County Community College Police Academy training, and he also has his bachelor's degree from University of Phoenix. He impressed everyone on the committee, and therefore we'd like to put that in the form of a motion to offer employment to a Braden Sachs.
Motion by Councilman Hart to hire Braden Sachs as an officer. Second, Councilman Dufresne. Any discussion?
Yes.
Do we need to mention terms, probation? And all
Yeah,
that?
yeah, and I apologize, Mr. Hart. I tried to send this to you. It bounced back. The conditional offer would need to include must successfully pass a physical examination, eye examination, psychological examination, and must successfully complete the 1-year term of probation.
So you'll,
I will amend my original motion to include that.
motion amended,
I'll
second
amend my
amended?
Yes.
All right, any more discussion?
And just for clarity, we had 2 other candidates on the list. So we have the 3 candidates.
Okay.
This is the individual that they've recommended for hire
Okay. And that's according to,
in accordance with civil service regulations.
all right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes. Does that put us back to full staff again?
Yeah,
Temporarily?
well, yeah, it will, except we have an officer in Act 120 school. So
Right.
once he is staffed, I think, Mayor, I think we're a full staff then. Correct?
Until we hit the next retirement.
Right, right.
When is that expected? This year or next year?
February.
Okay.
We also had 3 candidates for the chief of ambulance service. And we believe we have our final candidate pending final background information that Mr. Pepe is soliciting this week. Recommendation for the special council meeting next week. Our next meeting is scheduled for June 14th at 9:15 a.m. I will report progress.
Thank you, Councilman Dufresne.
Shane, in the past, didn't we have to also approve where we were going to send the officer for his testing?
Yeah, so we decided not to do that because you guys are, so we're still in that same civil service hiring period.
Okay.
So, what we looked at was it still falls under all the other appointees that we did. So
I just wanted to make sure we didn't.
yeah, the
for a
examinations,
month.
yeah.
Okay.
The mayor and I had
Okay.
discussed that, but yeah, because we're still in the same process.
General Administration Committees, myself, we have the towns at South Mountain Release Agreement. Shane, how in depth do we want to get on this? Do we want to explain what it is, or are we just voting?
You guys, I mean, I think you all understand and have discussed this.
Well, it's 13 pages of documents. That's why I'm asking how much do we want to say?
Unless there's questions, I would not go into it unless you really have questions. If you do, I'll answer them or Shane can answer.
All right, so would somebody like to make a motion to approve the towns at South Mountain Release Agreement? Councilman Anders, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes. We have a revised police schematic. Do we just have to approve the design, Shane?
Well, I mean, you're essentially would be voting to approve that portion of the project.
So you have the floor plans on the second attachment, and your first attachment are the costs.
So I'll just briefly explain to you. The new schematic, you already voted to do the garage addition a couple weeks ago. So that's not part of the conversation here. New schematic eliminates the carport areas that were on the old design, but includes the interior work that we had. If you remember in option O, we had the evidence room with a slight addition. The gear storage, the redoing of the squad room, the additional office, but then over in the current town hall garage, you'll see where we created a 200 square foot evidence room, evidence storage area in the current town hall garage. So what we did was we split up basically 60-40 in that area so that there will be police storage, bikes. I think we can do some design work that makes that more efficient storage there. And then and the animal control, but then evidence storage will also be over there. So that essentially gets you to the amount of square footage that we were originally looking at.
I think it's option P.
No.
It is
Yeah.
option
No,
B.
I'm saying in the original O. Yeah, in the original option O, it brings that back. Yeah. So this is a brand new schematic. This is
the final scheme
scheme
or
scheme
option
P.
P.
Yes.
So is somebody like to make a motion to approve option P? Councilman Hart, is there a second? Councilman Dufresne, discussion.
I do want to, because we've been very open with costs. throughout the entire process. So I do want to just mention publicly what the cost to do this will be. You already know what the garage addition cost, it's already in there. To do the rest of option P will be between $507,500 and $589,000. So that will do all the interior work, the downstairs work, and the remodeling of the rear of the current town hall garage. So that range is what that piece of the work will be.
Okay, any questions from council? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes. Our next meeting has been canceled, which would have been this Thursday. So our following meeting is May 20th here in council, well, via Zoom, I'm sorry, at 9 a.m. Progress. Budget and Finance Committee Chairman Dufresne.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have Resolution 2021-25, resolved by Borough Council to authorize payment of the May 17th, 2021 bill list as follows. Bill list $539,792.44. Payroll number 9, $168,238.13. Payroll taxes, $55,867.94, for a total of $763,898.51, done the 17th of May, 2021, and I put that in the form of a motion.
There's a motion by Councilman Dufresne. Is there a second? Councilman Hart, discussion? I just have a question. There's an Echo Communications that showed up multiple times. Just curious what most of those are.
Well, so Echo
Because there are different departments too, I
Yeah,
think.
absolutely. So Echo Communications does essentially all of our communications. They're also doing the tower estimate work, but they do all the radio work for police, fire, and public works. They do all the connections for the cars. They do
Okay.
all of that. So essentially all the radio work, the walkie-talkie type
So
of things.
earpieces listed.
Yeah, well, so that
microphones.
was a safety committee thing
Okay,
to equip the police officers with earpieces
okay.
and ear microphones moving forward.
Is that for the radios?
For the radios, yeah.
Okay.
So the whole idea there is that, if you're trying to radio back and forth to somebody and you're trying to, let's say you have a warrant you're serving on a house, you don't
That doesn't work too good.
know. So the whole idea is that they can communicate back and forth without broadcasting that.
Okay,
so
thank
that
you. I
everybody
was
in
just
the-
curious
in
because
the
I saw it
neighborhood can
multiple
hear.
times, so
Yeah.
thank you. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes.
Okay, you can see the significant revenue and expenses for the first half of May in the attachment. And then in our meeting notes, obviously we approved quite a few buildings here in the last few weeks here. So the financing discussion will start, and Shane has a meeting tomorrow with the financial advisor that we approved to move forward with that process. Our meeting on May 20th is also canceled. So that would make our next meeting June 3rd at 11 a.m. on Zoom. Progress.
Thank you. And I believe I stated the wrong date for our next meeting. The May 20th meeting that I said is the next meeting is actually the one that was canceled. The next one will be June 3rd along with that. So thank you for bringing that up. Community Relations Planning and Development Committee Chairwoman McManaman.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have one item for official action. You'll see in your packet, we received a request from Cottage and Bloom, a store on the corner of Main and 4th Street, on behalf of 3 businesses, Cottage and Bloom, the Deca Salon, and FD Market. They're requesting 2 parking spaces so that they can have a pop-up event with the Georgia's flower truck would be parked in the triangle parking space. The participants would go to each of the stores mentioned, pick up components of a bouquet, and then go to the truck and have the bouquet put together. The second space is simply so that people can gather around the vehicle. We have asked that the flower truck have a business transient permit and the necessary insurances. They've acknowledged this, although we have not gotten confirmation yet. So I'd like to make a motion to grant permission to use the 2 parking spaces on the triangle in front of FD Market, conditioned upon applying for the transient business permit as well as requiring the necessary insurances.
And the date and times too.
Oh, I'm sorry, May 27th from 6 to 8 p.m.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilman Anders, discussion? This sounds like a great event. I hope it becomes successful because that could be a fun event for,
Well, and they're hoping to do more if this is successful for them. And they're choosing a Thursday night so that they can get a little more activity downtown.
great. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes.
You'll see our meeting notes from our last meeting. There is one item of special note, which is the Emmaus Planning Commission Visioning Committee, led by Mike Gibson, has set dates for their public meetings and visioning presentations to the community, which will be held the first 3 Wednesdays in August, the 4th, 11th, and 18th, in person in council chambers as well as via Zoom. I would like to thank Ms. Baumgardner for her helping Mr. Gibson in putting together the presentation and the public meeting outline. Something of note, there will be a complete version of the PDF form on the borough website. Unless there are any questions about any of that, our next meeting is June 14th at 4:30. I report progress.
Thank you. Junior council members report. Jonas, is this your last meeting? Or is June?
I believe it's the next meeting is my last meeting,
Okay.
which is very unfortunate. I've really enjoyed being with you all and being able to be a sponge for all the information that you all share. So just 2 quick reminders. Graduation is coming up, and there is also the Tuck Everlasting play, which you can find more about on the Emmaus High School website. It's a pre-recorded event that you have to pay to get access to. And then just also I put in the announcement for the Emmaus Community Pool Survey. I was just curious if you had any more responses since that announcement's gone live, and with that, I report progress.
That's directed to you, Shane.
Yeah, I'll take a look, to be honest with you. I haven't checked in the last probably last week, but I'll take a look. Thank you.
Jonas, I don't have kids in school and I haven't seen anything in the paper lately. What's our school district doing these days as far as in-school learning? Are they hybrid yet?
Yeah, so we've been hybrid for a little bit now. What we're doing is we're doing a schedule where some students come in for 2 days and then other students come in the last 2 days, and then they alternate between going in through that Wednesday. So like some students go in Monday through Wednesday and then other students go in through Thursday through Friday, or they switch it from Wednesday to Friday.
I bet the parents really appreciate that.
Well, half of them can't remember to put their socks on in the morning, let alone which day they got to be there.
Well, hopefully next year's a new beginning. We'll put it
And-
that way.
Just a quick update there that the baseball and softball have districts coming up, and baseball's still in the running for the East Penn title, which is kind of cool. So, didn't know if you knew that, but just
Awesome. All right. You had 3 sets of board and commission meeting notes there, and we have personal appeals part 2. There's still nobody in the audience. We have a few in our virtual audience. We'll unmute them, and if they have an appeal, please state your name and where you're from. Hearing none. Borough managers report.
All right, so I have a lot here. First of all, I hired current firefighter Ryan Crawford as our new part-time fire inspector. So very excited about Ryan starting that position. You have his qualifications in your iPads. He's more than qualified. He's a certified fire inspector, and I think he fits the bill for what we expect out of the program. I hired Neil Valois and Timothy Klein as auxiliary police officers. They will focus the majority of their time on parking enforcement, is the goal with them. I also hired Patricia Dieter, Sarah Schmeltzley, Zach Belos, Nicholas Potts, Benjamin Anders, Isabella Shotwell, and Tierna Moore as concession stand employees. I hired Bridget Danish, Clara Kennedy, Kane Westner, and Lily McAfee as pool cashiers. And the one that we are desperately continuing to seek, we did have lifeguards pass their certifications, although we had several that unfortunately didn't make this list because they didn't pass. But those that did, we hired Brianna Young, Matthias Walk, Ray Lynn, Julia Rakovska, Sarah Kohler, Annika Gali, Hannah Marone, Caleb Snyder, Catherine Raynock, Tristan Monahan, Meadow Hammershock, Zoe Taylor, Acacia Walk, Nicholas Bunano, and Enzo Gualteri. And you'll see who our acting pool manager is going to be Hannah Marone, and Caleb Snyder will be our acting assistant pool manager. For this year only, our pool manager is stepping back a little bit as she's has some other things that she's dealing with and doing. She will be in and out though. So we are remaining to employ Sally, but she won't be as active as she normally is. And our position is Sally is a significant asset to us. And so we look forward to her being back on a more permanent basis again next year. She has done wonders for our swimming pool and has created that consistency that we have lacked for many years at the pool. So, but for now, Sally is stepping back a little bit. And with that, I mean, as you're all aware, we have a lot of things going on, which I don't need to report on here. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I will report progress.
I don't know. You named about 20 names there and there's only like 5 Pennsylvania Dutch. Are we disappearing? Just wondering.
I couldn't announce.
I mean, you got Schmelzy in there. That's a good Dutch name. But not too many Pennsylvania Dutch names in there. Dieter, that's another one.
He's smart. He hired an Anders. It's no relation, but it's
So, all right, under president's business,
You open yourself up. I'm going right past it. Go ahead.
president's business. I didn't say anything last election and I heard for not saying anything. So make sure you get out there and vote tomorrow. It's not the most popular election because it's local and a lot of people just don't go, but talk to your neighbors and friends and see if we can get more people out there. And best of luck to everyone who's on the ballot. So with that, progress and motion to adjourn. Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilwoman McManaman. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes. Meeting adjourned at 6:33.
7:33.
he's talking Central Time.
It would have been